This is the help video for the take-home practice quiz 7.4 through 6. Taking a look below, it says in the figures below, segments BC and BD are tangent to the circle, and the circle is at O, which implies O is the center of the circle. Given that O to C is 5.6 and OB is 10.6, find BD. What's the most important thing here is two things. One, these two red segments, which are arms of a tan-tan angle, arms on a tan-tan angle, are congruent. You're going to see that a couple times. Also, if tangent to a radius, 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 if tangent to a radius, right angle at the edge. Which means you're going to be working with leg squared plus leg squared equals hypo squared here. So I have one leg is 5.6 parentheses squared plus the other leg, which we don't know, is x squared equals the hypo, which is 10.6 squared. So just to get x, that's going to be the square root of 10.6 squared minus 5.6 squared. On that note, we do 10.6 squared minus 5.6 squared. And we take the square root of that, and we get 5.6. 5.6 squared. Got to hit that equal sign. There it goes, and square root. That looks more like it, and it equals exactly 9. So this is 9, and therefore on this side it's also going to be 9. Number 2 says AD and AB are tangent to the circle, which means we have a pair of tan-tans right here. That's tangent, and that's tangent, which means it's congruent. BD passes through the center of the circle, so that is the center, and that is a radius. A to D is 19.4. B to D is 13. We're trying to find D to C, which is the yellow. So if we find the red, we just subtract, and the reds are equal. So what you need to notice here is that this, if tangent to a radius, 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 if tangent to a radius, right angle at the edge. Got a right angle there. So we're going to go 13 squared plus x squared equals 19.4 squared, which means our unknown is the square root of 19.4 squared minus 13 squared. We get 14.4 as our x. This is 14.4. Over here's 14.4. So to get the yellow, that's going to be 19.4 minus 14.4. Therefore, our DC is going to be 5. Problem number 3 is very similar. What key things you want to watch out for is at tangent to a radius, right angle at the edge. So watch out for that right angle. And the other thing you need to watch out for is tan angle to the point of tangency is going to be congruent. It says find the circumference and the area of a circle with a diameter equals 10 millimeters. So we write out our equations. We want both. It says write your answers in terms of pi. That is called the exact term. So we have C d pi, I c d pi, C d pi, I c d pi. Apple pie is really, really good. Apple pie is really, really good. Physically trace your diameter, so our circumference equals 10 pi millimeters. The dimensions are in one dimension because it is simply length. This one, pi r squared, so it's 5 squared. Your area is going to be 25 pi millimeters squared. We have a rectangular paperboard, 33 inches long and 22 inches wide, which has a semicircle cut out. That's half a circle. Keep that in mind. Find the area of the paperboard. That remains. So this is the shape we want to find the area of, ultimately in yellow. Want to find this area. So to find that area, it's pretty obvious what you're going to do. We're going to find the area of the rectangle. And we find the area of the semicircle. And of course we subtract. This is going to be area equals length times width. This is area equals pi r squared, and then it's specifically over 2. They don't want you to use the pi key. They want you to use exactly 3.14. So make sure you follow those instructions exactly. So up here, to get this, it's simply our length is, our width is 22, our length is 33. We get 726. For this one, our radius. Now the trick is, what is the radius here? Well, if we go like this, we trace that here. If you have an imaginary circle here, this 22 is the diameter, which means your radius is 11. So the radius that we're working with right here to here is going to be 11. So we're going to go 11 squared times exactly 3.14 divided by 2. We get 189.97. 189.97. Very important. It says do not round your answer. So we take that away from 726. We get 536.03. And we're not told to round anywhere, so 536.03 inches squared. In the ring shape area below, the inner radius is 12, the outer radius is 18. Find the area of the shaded region. Well, it's pretty easy to see that this shaded region is called negative space. So we're going to find the area of this outer circle. We're going to find the area of this inner circle. And we're going to subtract. So it's pi r squared minus pi r squared. So our radius here for the red, we trace it, is 18. The radius of the green is 12. So 18 squared times pi minus 12 squared. So I have 18 squared. It's 324. So I have 324 pi minus 144 pi. So my exact answer is going to be, my area is, exact answer, 180 pi centimeters squared, and my approximate answer using 3.14 for pi is 565.2. Check for units, centimeters squared. Says a street which is 182 feet long is covered in snow. City workers are using a snowplow to clear the street. The snowplow has to turn 26 times. Turn. The word turn, turn around, that's really important that you see the word turn, which is the same as revolution, which is the same as circumference, which equals d pi. What is the diameter of the tire? So here we have a street, with snow on it. We have a snowplow of some sort. And the tire turns in pushing here 26 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 as it travels down the street 26 times. So we're being asked, what is the diameter? That 26 turns is the circumference. So I'm going to bring the math up here. We have 26 circumferences. Circumference equals d pi. Therefore, d pi equals 26 in this case. Forgot one tiny little step here. That 26 is not the circumference, or it is the number of circumferences. So what we have here is 26 circumferences, which are turns. Let me make a visual of that. 26 turns equals 182 feet. So we divide by the 26. So what we get is for each turn, we get 7 feet worth of travel, which equals our circumference. So d pi equals 7. I'm going to divide both sides by pi. And we're told to use exactly 3.14 for pi here. So it's 7 divided by 3.14. We get 2.229. Round your answer to the nearest tenth, so our diameter is going to be 2.2 here. Which is the correct answer right there. A rose garden is formed by joining a rectangle and a semicircle. The rectangle is 24 inches long, 16 inches wide. If the gardener wants to build a fence around the garden, so the garden is the yellow, and we're going to be finding the fence which goes around like this. So fence, by definition, is a concept of perimeter. How many feet of fence are required? Use 3.14. So the fence consists of this portion of the rectangle and this much of a circle put together. So for this rectangle, for this portion of the rectangle, it's simply 24, 16, 24. So it's going to be 48 plus 16. So that part is 64 feet. This is C equals D pi divided by 2, because it's only half. What's our diameter? Our diameter is, if this was an imaginary circle, our diameter is 16. So C equals 16 over 2 pi, which is simply 8 pi. 8 times 3.14 exactly, get 25.12. So the complete fencing is going to be 6425.12. Do not round your answer, so we should be getting 89.12 feet, which is right there.